Writing by hand seems archaic, a little throwback perhaps to the little kid you were with a notebook and a pencil and those little dotted lines in the middle so that your cursive writing met the lines. I get a lot of writers saying they don't write by hand because they think too fast and they think that somehow the notebook will slow them down. I am a big fan of a notebook and a bigger fan of writing by hand. Not everything, but there are some advantages to writing by hand, and I just wanted to come on here and share them with you. So first of all, in the morning, every morning, I wake up at whatever time I wake up, and I get myself some tea, and I sit at my couch, and I have my notebook ready and a pen. And yes, I have preferred styles of pen and preferred styles of notebook. You may too. And part of the fun of writing by hand is actually enjoying the feel of the pen and the paper and the contact. So there's that. And I sit and I write for at least one page, if not more. And it doesn't matter if I'm working on a project or not working on a project. I've been showing up to the notebook and pen for over 30 years. And this is how it works on me and what I share with writers like you who may or may not already be engaged in writing in a notebook. So the first thing is it's low tech. You don't need power. You don't need to lug it in a special bag. If you want to go write in a cafe, you just need your notebook and your pen. Low tech. Open the page, start on the page. You don't have to find the file. It's all right there. Writing by hand and in a notebook activates centers of the brain that are not activated with typing on a screen. And I don't know why that is, but there's some sort of mechanism or part of the brain that's lit up that inspires creativity. So writing in a notebook can be a really effective way if you are stuck on a scene, you're not really sure what a character is going to do, you pull out your notebook and you just start, it's kind of like doodling. You start writing on there and you try different things and there's more potential for it to open up. Now, this doesn't mean you're never writing on the computer, just to be clear. You can transcribe then what you've written on the page into your document on the computer. And I often do it, and I call this the first round of revision because it's already being changed from the page, the notebook page, to the computer. The other thing about writing in a notebook that I think is really beautiful and we don't think about it that much, or I actually do, but because when we write it on the computer, it feels more permanent. It's in type. It's got, there might be little squiggles that suggest that we've got some grammar mistakes or spelling mistakes. But when we write in the notebook, those highlights are not there. The stakes are lower. We don't think, oh, this is a permanent place just because I'm writing it in my notebook. And so it allows for more freedom. We play around with our sentences more. We play around with images more. We play around with the sound of the words more. Whereas when we get on the computer and we do revision, it can be very much like replacing a word or changing the syntax, but not full on seeing it for something new. So notebook is, you know, as I said, a notebook is a really beautiful place to engage with your work actually physically. It's a more embodied experience than just typing on the computer. My neck always gets sore when I type on the computer too long and my eyes get dry. So maybe you have some somatic response to working on the computer. Now, I think it's really helpful, as I mentioned, if you are stuck in a scene. So if you're like coming up against the same struggle again and again in your novel or in your memoir or in your short story, you could just take it to the notebook and parse it out there and see what happens. It's a great place if you don't know where to go next in your story, or if you're not sure what project you want to work on. Bring it to the notebook. If you just want to strengthen your writing, I think strengthening your writing by notebook is more effective than by computer. And I think part of that is because the computer is full of distraction. And when we are with our notebook, there's fewer distractions. Every single piece that I've written, every single piece that has been published, every story I've written, every essay, my novel, all of it has started in a notebook. So if you haven't tried it, get yourself a notebook, get yourself a pen, and if you already have tried it, try it again. It's a great excuse to unplug from your computer, and it's even a greater excuse to, to buy a new notebook.